It's all about the content. Drew Brees, one of the most efficient, accurate, best quarterbacks of all time, future Hall of Famer. There's not a lot to describe there. I wanted to get a quarterback with my first pick, and I think I got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
I liked the Brees pick because I think he's in the middle of what could potentially be an MVP season, and is just like the ageless wonder who seems, despite the weird Taysom Hill wrinkles around him, to be somehow trending up, even though he's like 100 years old.
Kyle Shanahan, I went into this with the plan of pairing a great quarterback with a great play caller. The best play caller in the NFL, Sean McVay, off the board. Second best play caller in the NFL, Andy Reid, off the board. I went with my third best play caller, Kyle Shanahan. I don't really care how he is as a head coach. I wanted his scheme. I wanted to put him together with Drew Brees. Obviously, Sean Payton's still on the board. That's boring. This is good content. I wanted Shanahan. Think about what he could do with Drew Brees. I mean, we saw what he did with Matt Ryan.
Danny Kelly took Kyle Shanahan. Danny, what are we doing here, buddy?
Let's just talk about the fact that Danny Kelly had the chance to take Sean Payton and Drew Brees together and didn't. And I think that in and of itself speaks to him not fully understanding the concept of the draft.
Danny had the chance to combine Drew Brees and Sean Payton, a Super Bowl winning coach. And he instead opted over any wide receiver or defensive player or anybody. He said the 10th most valuable person in the NFL is Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the 2-7 2-7? He took the coach of a 2-7 team. Yeah, look how valuable he has been.
I will defend him here. Shanahan was not the bad pick. All right, it's kind of a bad pick. But I see where he was coming from, because it's like, oh, he can design a good offense and all this stuff. And it's thinking along the right means to like, oh, you're going to take a good head coach. If Sean Payton had the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan had the Saints, I think Shanahan could do much closer to the Saints. No, it's kind of a bad pick.
There are very few things that all of us collectively can trust in life. One of like 4 of them is that Sean Payton and Drew Brees make sense together. Like, I just don't know how you don't opt into that when the option is there for you.
David Johnson is the perfect running back for the Kyle Shanahan offense. He's physical, he's tough, he can line up as a receiver, they can use him all over the field. I didn't want to pick a running back very high, but I think of him as more like a hybrid player. He can play all over the field. He's a receiver just as much as he is a running back. People's memories are so short at this point, but he was Todd Gurley before Todd Gurley was Gurley. You can flex him out anywhere in the offense. He can run vertical routes. He's a touchdown maker, and I think Kyle Shanahan, of all coaches in the NFL, could get the most out of David Johnson.
He also went with David Johnson, who, again, in theory, is a fun and interesting pick, but has done little to nothing this year, and I'm not confident that he could pick it up in time to save Danny's season.
David Johnson he missed last season, and then he comes back and he's just not himself. I think he's under 4 yards per carry right now. He's not the receiving threat he was. Again, I know a lot of that was Mike McCoy being his coordinator for the first 6 weeks or whatever it was, but I'd like to see something from David Johnson before making a 3rd round pick.
David Johnson is quickly falling into what I like to refer to as the Christian Hackenberg camp. And by that I mean broken players, broken by the team around them. Talent squandered. I ride for you, Hack. I always will. I'll never quit you. You just have to wonder if he's ever going to be the same player again. You can pound that with the injury, wrist injury, lingering effects. He's still a great running back, but he's not what I want out of that position. Again, I just think the fall off is so huge, and when you look at the most dynamic guys, they're in the top tier of that position. And he missed that. He just missed it. So he has a fine player there, but not a great one, not a difference maker for his team.
Michael Thomas just went with Drew Brees' best weapon. He elevates Drew Brees' his game, which is really, really hard to do. I mean, he has a huge catch radius, he's fast, he's physical, and he can run every route. He's inside, outside, he's in the red zone, elite receiver.
Michael Thomas, phenomenal. To pair him with Drew Brees is genius.
I do like the Danny package Brees and Michael Thomas. I think that's smart. Thomas is a target machine. So I like that part of Danny's team.
Joey Bosa is obviously injured right now, taking a little bit to come back. I don't care about right now. I'm looking at the playoffs. I want him the last 6 weeks of the season. He's a game wrecker off the edge, one of the best young pass rushers in the NFL, and he's going to have fresh legs in the playoffs.
Oh, man. Joey Bosa, again, another guy who's injured. We have healthy players in the NFL. You could have had like Travis Kelce. There are a lot of different guys. I don't understand why we're going in on players who are injured. You only need these guys for the next 8 weeks and then the playoffs. Just take a guy who's actually playing.
I do a podcast with Danny. My name's Danny. I love Danny. I was going to defend Danny. And then he took Joey Bosa. I'm just kind of disappointed.
If I were Danny and I'm thinking Joey Bosa, at that point, just take Nick Bosa, because you're already punting on 2018 anyway. Start looking ahead to 2019, my guy.
He's a Charger, which means who the hell knows when he's coming back. And when he does come back, he'll probably get hurt again like every other Charger. So I don't know about that one.
My team has one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, has one of the top, most elite pass catchers of all time, and they've worked together in the past. I think Shanahan could design a system that gets guys open. I think that offense just would carry them. Bosa's just the cherry on top. I mean, he's a game wrecker. Getting him back for the playoffs would be just the extra little bump that my team would need to win it all.
I just think that Shanahan pick is sort of unforgivable and crazy, and yeah, it's just shocking to me. I was really stunned when he made that choice.
Nah, Danny could use a mulligan or 3.
Danny Kelly's team is probably the most interesting team and the most curious team. He got roasted in our chat and during the draft for going with Kyle Shanahan. I can't do that as the world's foremost Kyle Shanahan stan, so I'm not going to be the person that tears down Danny Kelly for that.
And I was gonna pick Brees, Peyton, and Michael Thomas. Like, that's boring. Why are we even here? What are we doing here?